So I heard this awful rumor today, and that is that it is the teacher's job to teach my child. I actually got that from a family member as I'm struggling with a child who we are exploring some diagnoses on. It's that teacher's job to teach your child. Well, yes and no. Of course, it's her job. She lovingly chose that profession. But that teacher is not, nor should she be, alone. And as the parent, I am not, nor should I be alone. And the truth is that that's why I've titled this, It Takes a Village. It does take a village. That's one of those phrases that's been overused to the point of cliche, but there's a reason that it's stuck around, and that's because there's a lot of truth in it. We can't do the education or the parenting of children, for that matter, without a team invested in their success. So, how do we engage families and the community in the educational process? Well, first of all, as a parent and a child, we're part of a bigger community. The community is going to include our teachers and our neighbors, and all of those can combine with the student to create success for your student with a disability. Um, all parents are going to worry to send my child to school with enough knowledge to be successful in kindergarten, or have I worry? I'm worrying that I packed a healthy enough lunch or sent enough pencils. All of these are valid worries, but for the parent of a child with a disability, their worries could be a little more extreme as they send their child off into the unknown that is the public school system. However, those worries can be lessened a little by knowledge. Knowledge is what is going to create the optimum learning environment. So what does that mean? What do? Your child has a diagnosis, so what? So you know the law. There are laws on the books that protect your child's access to a free public education. Namely, the law that's protecting our children's rights to a free education is called IDEA. You should also know your rights. You have the right to be involved in your child's education. That means you're going to be part of a team of people who are invested in your child's success. Also know what your options are as far as training. Are there parent-to-parent trainings in your community for whatever your child's diagnosis is? Are there support groups? There could be an online Facebook group, but there is support out there, and sometimes it's helpful to know that you're not alone as you're facing the day-to-day challenges that come with raising and educating a child with disabilities. Knowing your role. I said earlier that a parent is part of a community and part of a whole team educating a child. Knowing your role in making a plan. Namely, I'm referring to the Individualized Education Plan, or the IEP. The IEP is going to be a document created with the help of your child's teacher, doctor, or therapist, all a concerned family member, yourself, and even your child once he's old enough to have a say. And all of this is going to be putting down on paper what accommodations or what services are going to benefit your child through his educational process. This could be requests for things like um, altering the way your child is assessed, or the use of any technological assistance devices, or access to a resource room, resource teacher. But all these can be put into that individualized education plan that you need to be a part of as a parent, and knowing as a parent or a member of the community what your role is in that plan. It's not to check off a box. Rushing through so many IEP meetings at the end of the year is probably very daunting for these teachers. But sitting in that room as a parent, that's your child. That's your responsibility. That's not your box to check. That's your child to educate. Um, and lastly, I would say, in as engaging families and communities into the educational process of your child, expect success. Expect it. Demand it. Your child can be educated. Your child will be educated. Now, is that going to look the same across the board? Absolutely not. You're going to have to find what success means to your family. It may not mean walking across the stage at college, or maybe it does. Perhaps it means mastering writing your name, and that's it. I don't know. I don't know what success means for yours, but I do know that as a parent, you do have a right and a responsibility to be a part of a community that engages in that educational process. The good news in all of this is that you're not alone. This is not going to be a battle that you fight by yourself. Through laws, through community groups, through the loving care of your educational team at your school, your family, and your child that you're seeking this education for, you're not alone. You're part of a bigger picture that can equate success for your child. Thank you.